They're even using AI-generated fakes, like this clip of Mark Carney.
All you need is to invest $350 and start making profit.
He never said that.
Elon Musk is not one to hide his feelings, but his recent comment about Mark Carney on Joe Rogan's podcast has got a lot of people talking. In this viral and heated footage, Musk accuses Carney of lying and deceiving Canadians. What did the Prime Minister do that warranted such scathing comments from the tech mogul? Join us as we reveal the details of the heated footage between Mark Carney and Elon Musk that has gone viral. Elon Musk accuses Mark Carney in viral footage. It all started with a clip that looked way too real to ignore. Elon Musk was sitting across from Joe Rogan, that classic podcast setup, black curtains, headphones, the mic, and Musk, in his usual calm but serious tone, called out Mark Carney. Not just calling him out in passing, but accusing him of lying to Canadians. The topic? A supposed passive income scheme that, according to Musk, was nothing more than a scam. Within hours, the clip had taken over Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and even WhatsApp groups were flooded with it. People were asking the same thing. Did Musk really just say that? What made it even more shocking was the timing. With the US and Canada currently at odds over trade, defense spending, and border policies, any jab between major public figures feels heavier. And Musk, being one of the most influential voices in tech and business, didn't hold back in this video. It gets even more shocking. He said Carney was misleading Canadians, taking advantage of people who trusted him. And then, in the same breath, Musk dragged the current Canadian Prime Minister into it, saying, "This kind of deception shows how broken Canada's leadership has become." The clip felt raw, almost too direct. There was no dancing around the issue. He said he'd had enough of world leaders acting like celebrities, pretending to care about people while pushing empty schemes. He even hinted that maybe Canada would be better off if it just joined the US and became the 51st state, a controversial idea that's been floated by some on the far right of American politics. Musk said it in a way that made it sound like he was serious. Now, when someone like Elon Musk says that on a platform as massive as Joe Rogan's podcast, it's a big deal. Millions of people watch that show. When the video started showing up on timelines and news feeds, it didn't take long before people took sides. Some were furious, saying Musk had no business attacking a respected figure like Mark Carney. Others said he was right, that someone needed to finally say what many were thinking. It didn't help that Carney is already a polarizing figure. With his background in both the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, he's often painted as the perfect example of the elite, smooth, calculated, always a step ahead. And with the federal election around the corner, emotions were already high. Seeing a clip like this pushed things into overdrive. But here's where things take a turn. That viral clip? It wasn't real. None of it happened. It was a deep fake. Musk never sat on Rogan's couch and said those things. Carney didn't promote any passive income scheme. Besides, the clip wasn't from CBC or any real news outlet, even though it was packaged to look just like one. A fake CBC report, complete with their logo, their anchor, even the tone and background music felt real. The entire thing was crafted to look authentic, right down to the way Musk adjusted his posture or blinked at the camera. And people bought it. Not just a few people, a lot of people. Reports from digital watchdog groups show that at least a quarter of Canadians came across this kind of deepfake content in just the past month. The network pushing this stuff is pretty organized. Dozens of Facebook accounts, some with very patriotic Canadian names, are all in on it. They're sharing the same fake videos over and over, trying to trick people into believing it's coming from real journalists or real interviews. This Musk Carney video hit especially hard because it didn't seem far-fetched. Musk is known for speaking his mind. Rogan has hosted wild conversations before. Carney is a real player in Canadian politics. The deep fake didn't invent new people or completely unbelievable situations. It twisted reality just enough to feel true. And that's what makes it dangerous. When videos like this go viral, they don't just spread false info. they mess with how people see the world. Some Canadians genuinely believed that Musk was backing the idea of annexing Canada. Others thought Carney had been caught red-handed in a financial scam. These beliefs don't go away overnight. Even when the video is exposed as fake, the damage is done. In the end, the Musk versus Carney video might just be another fake in a long list of internet stunts. There are more of such videos about Carney. Let's take a look at some of them. The negative impact of Mark Carney's deepfake footages. Let's talk about the deepfake videos of Mark Carney. They've been spreading like wildfire across Facebook, especially now that Canada is deep into a federal election. These clips are not just random online nonsense. They're fake videos crafted to look and sound like real news reports. The problem is, most people can't tell they're fake at first glance. They use real news anchors like Rosemary Barton, real-looking CBC logos, and even mix in familiar faces like Elon Musk and Joe Rogan. And Mark Carney, he's right in the middle of it, being made to say things he never actually said, like endorsing shady investment schemes. What makes this worse is that these deepfakes are showing up as sponsored ads on Facebook. That means scammers are paying money to push this fake content into people's feeds. The thing is, they're targeting Canadians at a very sensitive time, right before the election. The ads are designed to look like breaking news stories, with headlines like, "Carney's major announcement shakes Canada," or "Canada's next prime minister surprises nation." So, not only are these fakes showing up everywhere, they're also using election-style language to grab people's attention and make it seem like Carney is making big policy moves. Now, why does this matter so much? For one, it's messing with people's views of the election. A lot of Canadians, more than half, according to surveys, still get their news from Facebook, even though real news outlets are currently blocked from posting there. That's given scammers a huge opening. The deepfakes don't just twist Carney's words, they build entire fake stories around him, sometimes making it look like he's endorsing financial products or schemes. People who don't dig deeper, or who aren't digitally savvy, might believe what they're seeing. That can seriously change how voters see him and influence how they vote. But it's not just about political opinions. These scams are going after people's wallets too. When someone clicks on one of these deepfake videos or articles, they get redirected to what looks like a trustworthy news site, sometimes even one with a CBC or CTV logo. On these fake pages, there's a detailed story explaining a so-called government-approved investment opportunity. In some of the videos, Carney himself, well, a fake version of him, says this investment is completely safe and approved by the Canadian government. One version of the video even claims that anyone can earn money by putting in just $350. It's slick, it's convincing, and it's completely made up. These scams have been linked to fake trading platforms like Canada Crypto Fund, True North, and Token Tact. All of them sound like official-sounding financial tools, but none are actually registered to operate in Canada. These aren't just pranksters. This is a coordinated effort by people looking to steal money by pretending to be trusted figures during an important election. When fake content like this spreads widely and quickly, it can tilt public opinion and drown out the real political messages. And since the content is paid for and pushed directly into people's feeds, there's a good chance it will reach someone who believes it and acts on it, whether that means voting based on false information or losing hundreds of dollars in a scam. With no real news content being allowed on Facebook in Canada, it's become harder for people to compare these fakes with actual news. The result? A flood of misinformation that's hard to stop and even harder to track. All of this is happening at the exact time when people should be hearing real debates and making informed choices. Instead, they're being tricked by fake news, manipulated videos, and phony websites. Carney isn't the only one being targeted, but he's definitely the most used face in this scam cycle. From fake investment pitches to false political announcements, the deepfakes are painting a false picture of him to millions of people. And that's not just bad for him. It's bad for democracy. In a world where AI-generated content is getting harder to detect, people are left asking themselves, how do we know what's real anymore? Let's find out. spotting deepfake videos and dealing with them. These days, it's getting harder to trust everything we see online, especially when it comes to videos that look real but aren't. Deepfake videos are everywhere now, and they're getting more convincing every day. So how can you tell if a video is fake? And what should you do if you come across one? One of the easiest ways to spot a deepfake is to pay close attention to the mouth. If the words don't match how the mouth moves, that's a big warning sign.
Hello, this is Elon Musk. Today, I'm introducing Jack's article on person-specific deepfakes using 3D morphable models.
Another clue is the eyes. They might blink too much, or not enough, or they move in a weird, robotic way. Sometimes, the lighting on the person's face doesn't match the rest of the video, especially around the edges, like the hair or jawline. Those details might seem small, but they can give away a fake in seconds. You can also look at what the person in the video is saying. If it's a well-known figure suddenly promoting a strange product or making an unexpected claim, that should raise some red flags. Ask yourself if this is something that person would normally be involved in. If it feels out of character, chances are it's not real. Some scammers try to use fake articles and videos to sell sketchy investment platforms or fake crypto funds. Always take a moment to think before clicking on anything or sharing it. Now, what happens when someone spots a deepfake and wants to do something about it? Big platforms like Facebook and Instagram, both owned by Meta, say they're working on it. When fake ads or videos are reported, the company investigates and may take them down. In some cases, they also shut down the accounts that shared them. But it's a game of constant catch-up. As soon as one fake gets removed, 10 more pop up. That's why these companies are also putting more money into new tech to catch fakes faster. Regulators and enforcement agencies are also trying to keep up. In Canada, for example, the Financial and Consumer Services Commission of New Brunswick warned people about fake trading platforms that weren't even licensed.
All you need is to invest $350 and start making profit.
Investigators are now tracking these scams across borders, since many of them operate internationally. But the process isn't simple. There are a lot of players involved: social media platforms, police, regulators, and they all have to work together to make any progress. At the end of the day, spotting deepfakes is part of living online now. Have you seen any of these deepfake videos, and did you know they were fake? Kindly share your answers, thoughts, and opinions in the comment section.
Foundation. When Julia Roberts and George Clooney first met on the set of Ocean's 11 in the year 2000, no one could have guessed their friendship would last longer than many Hollywood marriages. Their first encounter wasn't just another typical Hollywood introduction. It marked the start of one of Tinseltown's longest-lasting, purely platonic bonds. Clooney shared that the moment they met, they just had fun, noting how their similar work styles helped form the basis of their friendship. Both stars were already well known at the time. Roberts was coming off her Oscar win for Erin Brockovich, and Clooney was moving from his fame on ER to a career in movies. What made their friendship special was how they kept work and real life separate. Unlike many Hollywood friendships that only exist on film sets or red carpets, Roberts and Clooney developed something more meaningful. When Roberts was pregnant with twins in 2004, Clooney put aside his usual pranks and showed a caring side not many had seen. He would ask if she was feeling okay, because she looked a bit tired, and he made sure she stayed hydrated on set. They worked together more often over the years, with Ocean's 12 in 2004 and Money Monster in 2016. However, it was the time they spent off-screen that really strengthened their friendship.
Be like, caw-caw! And she would come out and make some weird bird noise, and then we'd go out and get coffee.
When Roberts was pregnant for the first time, she found comfort at Clooney's famous Lake Como villa in Italy. Later, she brought her children there, filling the historic villa with the happy chaos of family life. Unlike many Hollywood friendships that fall apart due to competition or rumors, theirs grew stronger because they shared the same values. Both had successful careers but never let work take over their lives. They supported each other through big life moments. Roberts' marriage to Danny Moder, Clooney's years as Hollywood's most eligible bachelor, and finally, his shift into family life. What's especially impressive is how they dealt with the inevitable romance rumors. Instead of letting the gossip affect their friendship, they handled it with their usual humor. Clooney explained that Julia was always in a relationship, or he was in a relationship, and they became close friends right away. It was all just fun for them. As Roberts once put it, "It's a relief they are not Hollywood friends." This simple line captures the heart of their connection. Genuine, lasting, and refreshingly real in an industry often seen as shallow. Those early years set the stage for an even more interesting chapter when a certain human rights lawyer came into the picture. Just when Hollywood thought they understood Julia and George's friendship, along came Amal Alamuddin, a brilliant human rights lawyer, ready to challenge one of Tinseltown's most famous bonds. But what happened next surprised everyone. The Amal Years. When George Clooney met Amal Alamuddin in 2013, Julia Roberts was one of the first people he called. After years of watching her friend go through high-profile relationships, Roberts knew this one was different. "It is wonderful," she told Ellen DeGeneres, even before meeting Amal.
Have you met her?
No.
She seems lovely.
She is beautiful and smart. He is happy, and that's what matters to me.
She describes Amal as beautiful and smart, and George being happy is what matters to her. George Clooney didn't leave the first meeting between Roberts and Amal up to chance. He carefully planned a dinner to introduce the two most important women in his life. What could have been an awkward evening, especially with years of tabloid rumors about Roberts and Clooney's relationship, actually became the start of a remarkable three-way friendship. What made their bond special was how naturally it developed. While many Hollywood wives often see their husbands' female co-stars with suspicion, Amal welcomed Roberts with open arms. The Oxford-educated lawyer, known for defending Julian Assange and advising Kofi Annan, discovered in Roberts a kindred spirit who valued realness over Hollywood glamour. Their friendship grew stronger when the Clooneys welcomed twins Ella and Alexander in 2017. Roberts, who was already a mother of three, became Auntie Juju to the twins. The nickname stuck and represented the close, family-like bond they had formed. While filming Ticket to Paradise in 2022, the Clooney twins would visit the set and run to hug their Auntie Juju between takes. The real test of their friendship happened during the intimate scenes between Roberts and Clooney in Ticket to Paradise. Amal's reaction? She watched the famous 80-take kiss scene with amusement, knowing it was all part of their professional work, and feeling secure in her relationship. Away from the cameras, the Clooneys, Roberts, with her husband Danny Moder and their children, and Amal's international friends created their own community. They celebrated holidays together, supported each other's causes, and established traditions that went beyond ordinary Hollywood socializing. In December 2022, Roberts made headlines by wearing a dress decorated with photos of George Clooney at the Kennedy Center Honors. This playful and heartfelt gesture showed how their friendship had grown. Amal, who was sitting in the audience, was seen laughing and applauding, a clear sign of how far they had all come together. Behind the scenes of Hollywood's most exciting on-screen partnership, the fact that it took 80 takes for a single kiss had everyone asking, was this just acting? Or was there something deeper making these scenes so tough? What really happened on those sets? On-screen magic. From Ocean's 11 to Ticket to Paradise, Julia Roberts and George Clooney's on-screen chemistry has captivated audiences for more than 20 years. Their latest collaboration highlighted this magic, especially during a now-famous kiss scene that surprisingly took 80 takes to get just right. But here's what the cameras didn't catch. 79 of those takes ended in laughter. It was like kissing her best friend, Roberts said with her signature laugh. Clooney, always the jokester, reminded her of his Sexiest Man Alive titles, but even that couldn't keep them serious enough to film the scene. Their professional partnership includes 6 major films, each highlighting a different side of their chemistry. In Ocean's 11, in 2001, they played exes with unfinished business. In Money Monster, in 2016, they took on the roles of a TV producer and a host dealing with a crisis. Each role presented new challenges, but their natural connection made even the tense scenes feel real. What makes their on-screen partnership special is their ability to stay professional while genuinely having fun. While filming Ticket to Paradise in Australia, COVID restrictions kept them away from their families, but they supported each other through long days and lonely nights. Roberts later admitted that Clooney and his family helped her avoid complete loneliness and despair during that time. Their work dynamic has become famous in Hollywood. Directors often set aside extra time for scenes with both stars, knowing that their infectious laughter might slow down filming, but will ultimately create magic on screen. This was especially clear in Money Monster, where director Jodie Foster reportedly planned to film their most challenging dialogue scenes early in the day, before their playful banter could take over. The success of their partnership comes from their similar approach to acting. Both take their work seriously, but also have a good sense of humor about themselves. Their combined box office appeal, over $5 billion worldwide, shows that audiences connect with their genuine chemistry. Unlike many Hollywood pairs who get tired of working together, Roberts and Clooney actively look for projects to do together. Roberts joked in a recent interview that George couldn't live without her on screen, but there's some truth in her humor. Their collaborations have actually become more frequent over the years, not less. Their most recent project, Ticket to Paradise, highlighted how they have grown as screen partners. Playing divorced parents, trying to stop their daughter's wedding, they brought years of friendship and understanding to their roles. The result was a performance that felt both new and familiar. Before the 80-take kisses with Clooney and billion-dollar box office hits, Julia Roberts was just a girl from Georgia with big dreams and an even bigger smile. But how did a small-town waitress role change everything? Early career and rise to fame. In 1988, a relatively unknown Julia Roberts took on the role of Daisy Arujo, a lively waitress in the small-town drama Mystic Pizza. The movie was made on a modest budget of $6 million and wasn't an instant hit. But it showed off something special, a new talent with a smile that would soon become one of Hollywood's most famous. What many people don't know is that Roberts almost didn't get the part. She initially auditioned for the role of Daisy's sister, Kat, but director Donald Petrie saw something different in her, a natural energy that matched Daisy's rebellious spirit perfectly. This decision would be crucial in kickstarting her career. The next year, Roberts starred in Steel Magnolias, where she shared the screen with big names like Sally Field, Dolly Parton, and Shirley MacLaine. In the film, she played Shelby, a young bride with diabetes who was determined to have a child despite the health risks. Her performance earned her first Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Behind the scenes, she developed a close friendship with Sally Field, who became a mentor to her during those early years. Then came the year 1990 and Pretty Woman, the role that turned Roberts from a promising newcomer into a global superstar. The movie was originally called 3000, which was the amount her character was paid for a week's companionship. The first version of the script was much darker than the romantic comedy we know today. Roberts pushed for a more empowering portrayal of her character, Vivian Ward, making small but important changes that helped create the film's more positive tone. The chemistry between Roberts and Richard Gere in Pretty Woman didn't happen right away. They had to do several screen tests before the directors were convinced. The risk was worth it. The film made over $463 million worldwide, breaking records for romantic comedies and earning Roberts her first Oscar nomination for Best Actress. During these important years, Roberts made key choices that shaped her career. She turned down leading roles in Sleepless in Seattle and While You Were Sleeping to avoid being stuck in romantic comedies. Even after the huge success of Pretty Woman, she selected her next projects carefully, prioritizing character development over just making money. Behind the scenes, Roberts was figuring out how to handle her sudden fame. During this time, she developed her signature laugh-smile combination, which was partly a natural way to deal with her nervous energy during interviews. This genuine and sometimes silly charm made her likable to both audiences and fellow actors. By the end of 1990, Roberts had achieved something amazing. She had 3 successful films, 2 Oscar nominations, and had become the highest-paid actress in Hollywood, all before turning 23. More importantly, she proved she was more than just a pretty face. She was a serious actress with real talent to support her rising star power. At the peak of her new fame, America's sweetheart unexpectedly earned the nickname Tinker Hell on Steven Spielberg's set. Was it the stress of being a star, a broken heart, or something more serious that caused Hollywood's Golden Girl to clash with its most powerful director? The Hook drama and Spielberg feud. In February of 1991, Julia Roberts showed up on the set of Hook to play Tinkerbell, ready for what should have been a wonderful partnership with Steven Spielberg. Instead, it turned into one of Hollywood's most famous feuds, set against a backdrop of personal struggles and work-related stress. The problems started even before they began filming. At just 23 years old and still getting used to her sudden fame, Roberts was preparing for her wedding to actor Kiefer Sutherland while working on the movie. The filming schedule was set up to fit her wedding date on June 14th. However, behind the scenes, her personal life was falling apart. There were rumors that Sutherland was having an affair with a dancer, and Roberts was finding it hard to handle everything. The filming conditions made things even harder. Unlike her earlier roles, playing Tinkerbell required Roberts to spend a lot of time alone in front of a green screen. Without other actors to interact with, she had to depend completely on Spielberg's direction. This isolation, along with her emotional struggles, created a challenging situation. What many people don't realize is that the production was already dealing with issues. Dustin Hoffman's method of acting led to delays, and working with child actors limited the hours they could shoot. The budget increased from $48 million to $80 million, and the filming schedule extended from 76 days to 116 days. While Roberts was facing her own struggles, she became the focus of the production's problems. The nickname Tinker Hell started circulating on set, but the real situation was more complicated. Roberts was dealing with the public breakup of her relationship, which is something that not many 23-year-olds could handle easily. Just 3 days before her wedding, she ran away to Ireland with Jason Patric, who was Sutherland's friend, and that made international headlines. Spielberg spoke about the situation during an interview on 60 Minutes, where he called it an unfortunate time to work with Roberts. While he praised her acting, he also said he would never work with her again. For Roberts, hearing this public criticism from one of Hollywood's most powerful directors was really tough.
He felt that
Steven Spielberg, I find quite confused in his recollection of me.
She later told Vanity Fair that when she saw that, her eyes popped out of my head. She couldn't believe the same person that she knew and trusted was actually hesitating to come to her defense. Even with all the drama, Hook earned $300 million worldwide. Although Roberts' role as Tinkerbell was overshadowed by the controversy, she still delivered some truly magical moments. This experience taught her important lessons about dealing with personal crises while in the spotlight, leading her to be more protective of her private life. 30 years later, Roberts and Spielberg have never worked together again, even though both went on to win Oscars in the years after Hook. While the aftermath of the Spielberg feud was still unfolding, Julia Roberts' love life turned into Hollywood's most talked-about soap opera. With canceled weddings and surprise marriages, what really went on during her tumultuous decade of romance?
If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel to enjoy more videos like this. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.